All right, the RSI Perseus has arrived in the game, a ship that I've owned for a long time and been waiting for, probably a lot like the rest of you at home, because I think everyone owns this ship well, everyone that's stupid enough to spend too much money on Star Citizen owns this ship, I think. So I'm really keen to watch this video. I did a stream last night on my main channel where I took the Perseus out. So I've already played in it, I've already seen it, and I'm working on a review, first impressions video that I'm going to put out tomorrow on my main channel, which is more about what I think about the ship itself. But this is in regards to the video. There might be stuff in here, because I haven't seen this yet, that tells me about stuff about the ship that I don't know. Obviously, I know about the basketball court and stuff like that, which if you don't know, that's a bit of a spoiler, but I'm sure they'll show it off in this video. But let's have a look at the RSI Perseus. Let's see what they spoke about in the video, and if there's anything that I didn't know about that they announced in the video.
Captain, you better get up here.
The Paladin armor on, weirdly. Anvil Paladin armor? On an RSI ship? Why have they... Why? Fair enough.
General quarters. All hands to general quarters. Down that quarter. This is on throw. General quarters. All hands to general quarters station. Down that quarter. This is on throw.
Man, they make these videos so cool. It's like a movie. Yeah, no, give this person a raise. The editor that did this video, or the whole team that worked on this video, this is top tier.
Reading multiple contacts.
Where is it? Hammerhead Polaris. Oh, the laser's stripping it like salvage. Does that happen? I've never seen that happen with the Idris's laser. Is that just fakery, or is that real? Fire. Doesn't sound this cool though in the game. It sounds like absolute doggy doo-doo, which I'll talk about in my review video, but this is cool. Nice. Also, it really does wind me up the way, I mean, this video is really cool, so I won't pause it for long because it's amazing and the atmosphere is crazy. It really winds me up how they do these videos though. Like, it is so cool. They're shooting an Idris here. It took me like 3 shots from that main cannon to kill a freelancer, which is quick, right? It's powerful, but a freelancer is weak. You can kill it really fast in any ship. So the fact that in this video they're peppering it and all the sides of the Idris are blowing up and people are scrambling to get through the shields of the Idris, you're shooting it for 5 minutes of this thing. Anyway, we'll stick to the rule of cool. But in game, let me tell you, this doesn't happen. And my buddy died in a Perseus yesterday to an Asgard. A solo Asgard killed a Perseus. I think it might need a bit of an armor buff. Anyway. Yeah, I love that. The dual aspect Gatlings on top for the smaller fighters if they're coming close. It's so good. Those shields would be gone. Also, torps are not working right now, but this is still really cool. They make... Oh, man. It's so cool. I would watch a mini movie series in-game, which I guess what single player is going to turn up being. Oh, that was cool. That was the Polaris under attack. Oh. I would watch this. If this was a TV show, I'd watch it. Tell that Idris is joining up because there's a greater enemy. Oh, this is sick, dude. That Polaris is battered. Man, they make these videos so freaking cool. Okay. Okay. I just want a TV show of this. That was incredible. That was some of the best content I've watched on television for a long time, if that makes sense. Better than anything any TV series I've watched in the last like year. Crazy, crazy. There is another behind the scenes of the Perseus, so we'll watch that as well in this video. We'll do 2 in 1. The basketball is really cool.
Is a big ship for big fights, but you're not quite ready for capitals yet.
It's a heavy gunship that focuses on heavy turret firepower.
Wait, what?
It's a big ship for big fights, but you're not quite ready for capitals yet.
Big ship for big fights, but you're not ready for capitals. Do they mean not ready to take on a capital ship? So all the stuff of them shooting Idris's was pointless, but which I already said. Or are they saying you're just not ready to get into a big ship like a capital ship with the crew size, so you want something in between, which I think is probably what it's more like. Similar to the Polaris, right? I'd say it's probably a similar crew size to a Polaris. Maybe you can get away with less on the Perseus, which is why I personally like it. I don't always play with like 10 people, so I can't fully crew something like a Polaris, really. Anyway.
It's a heavy gunship that focuses on heavy turret firepower. A gunship is a ship that's capable of engaging and targeting other ships at the same time, which provides a way for players to take control of an area and engage multiple threats simultaneously rather than having to dogfight and focus on one at a time.
So a heavy gunship is when the ship gets a little bit more bulky, gets a lot more defensive, and is designed to tackle a bit bigger force.
Some of the larger threats it's ideal for targeting would be things like constellations and that sort of size ships.
Mm-hmm.
The RSI Perseus is like a classic RSI design. It's a
They did change the design though, and I kind of prefer how it was before.
Ship. We've got this pointy nose. You've got the bridge just behind the center line, so it echoes that classic warship aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. Entirely, it really feels like a solid ship, able to go into battle and well protected. It's heavy duty, and it looks badass.
The thrusters on the rear, again, we built on what RSI is known for, with these kind of large thrusters that are out on the nacelles at either side.
Back when we introduced the Perseus as a concept, its role in the game was to be a sort of mirror of the Aegis Hammerhead, where the Hammerhead was designed as a heavy gunship for screening smaller fighter craft, whereas the Perseus was for engaging larger threats.
Okay.
So when the Perseus was originally announced, it had size 7 weapons. As times went on and other larger ships have entered the game, we felt it didn't fit the rule well enough anymore to be size 7s. That's why it's been upgraded to size 8 weapons.
Nice.
These are manned and capable of full 360 traversal. And then there's a slew of point defense turrets throughout the ship as well to provide protection against incoming missiles and torpedoes.
And they're fully interchangeable, like all the other PDTs in-game, such as the missile one that came out with the Idris K, along with the ballistic Gatling variant that's coming with the MDC in a few days.
There are also smaller size 3 remote turrets that can be controlled from the bridge.
That was a juggling act because that was not in the concept, so we had to incorporate all of those weapons together but not break the silhouette of the concept in a destructive way. So I think we maintained the silhouette generally, but also added the necessary functionality to match the expected turret experience that came from Squadron.
Interesting they mentioned
There was a lot of moving parts, pun intended, with that, where the whole turret had to literally extend when you sit in it, for the fact that the seat and the turret pivots needed to be lined up on the y-axis. So that's why they transform once you sit in them. The player won't notice, but that was to actually make it so the pivots line up, so when you tilt your seat is tilting at the same angle as the turret that's next to you.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
We tried 3 Perseus against the Polaris, and they did extremely well. Because the Polaris's major punch is
3 Perseus, did they say?
that they did We tried 3 Perseus against the Polaris, and they did extremely well. Because the
So, I feel like when we just saw what we saw in that video just a second ago, the Perseus is like peppering an Idris and a Polaris and like blowing holes in it and stuff. I feel like the Perseus isn't that yet. I mean, size 8s are not big enough in my opinion. I think they should be like bigger, like a size 9, really. Like size 7 for a reference is what's on the Aegis. No, the Ares Inferno and Ares Ion. They're size 7s, I'm pretty sure. And they are meant to be capital ship killers, but realistically, they are kind of useless right now in the game. Both of those ships need... They are always being balanced. It feels like most patches there's a change to the Ares ships. So I do feel like they should have been maybe an extra size up, like a size 9 for this ship, because that's probably what it's for. Like 3 Perseuses to take down 1 Polaris. By the way, they've just upped the price of the Perseus. So there's a fly buzzing around. To $800. So it's only 150 less than the Polaris now. Whereas before, I think it was 300 and something. 350 less. I think it was something like that anyway. So it does feel a bit like, should you need 3 to take on a Polaris? We kind of was sold up the stream of it being a similar spec to a Polaris. Not quite the same. I was expecting 2. 3 seems like it should absolutely destroy a Polaris, no problem. However, they're saying they had 3 and they did quite well, which indicates to me 1 or 2 of them might not have made it.
Polaris's major punch is the torpedo, whereas the Perseus's major punch are the guns, and the guns have no range limit. So you just go right down the throat of the Polaris, and you're pummeling it, and we destroyed it quite quickly. You can't really be stopped. But the Perseus does have...
Don't say you can't really be stopped. Because you say that, and then they're going to nerf it 5 days later.
Okay, you can be stopped by good tactics and smartitude.
Okay, I probably should have kept watching, because they did just say that they absolutely domed him when I was complaining about how bad they did. So, okay, apparently 3 just dominated the Polaris. Fair enough. Fair enough.
This is what I have to work with, people.
They will nerf it if it's killing a Polaris that quickly, though.
So there are multiple different ways to enter the Perseus. All of them will connect you into the cargo hold, but all come with different pros and cons. So you have the docking collar, which allows you to connect to stations. You have the personnel lift, which allows you to enter the ship without depressurizing the cargo hold. And then you have the main lift that you can put people or vehicles on to get up to the actual ship.
I do like that.
All of them bring you into the large cargo hold area.
No hangar, which I do also like.
Parts of the ship.
No, like snub ship.
Compared to the original concept, we've made some minor interior changes just to improve the flow throughout the ship.
Sometimes what we find is when we're tackling the ships with a large interior space, we want to make sure that the interior has all the functionality that we want, and sometimes that does have some layout changes.
The cargo bay, since the concept has been increased to 96 SCU, and the layout of it is pretty favourable in terms of putting vehicles in. You can put things up to, say, rover-sized vehicles in there. And this does allow you to run cargo missions, although that is not the ideal role of this ship.
In this space, we really tried to convey the strength of the ship. So one of the things that we evolved slightly from the original concept was these large structural beams. They tie the walls, the floors, the ceilings all together, and they give a little bit of a skeleton to the ship. It really conveys that no matter where it takes a hit, it's going to survive.
I mean, an Asgard
I love the
one
nautical
hit.
theme to it. Tried to create that aesthetic inside the ship where we labeled everything similar to an actual military ship. When I toured the Midway down in San Diego, and when I was visiting the Bar Citizen, I met a lot of former Navy guys, and they said, yeah, we have, you know, labels and arrows pointing every which way, so when you're in a big ship, you never get lost. I'm the one who put in the basketball hoop.
Why?
Yeah, because the concept artist had this, you know, this harebrained scheme, and hopefully the fans will make use of it. I mean, I was able to shoot hoops successfully in there.
That's cool.
If you turn left in the cargo area, right in front of you, you've got the torpedo loading areas. So on the lower deck, that is where you access actually loading the torpedoes in.
We changed the concept entirely. Instead of an enclosed device, it's an open bay where it's this V shape and you can load all 20 and visibly see every single torpedo. The reasoning is versus the Polaris, where that system, you sort of load the torpedoes, but then it tucks under and then you can't see them anymore. That interfered with the ability to unload and reload them. So that was the critical change versus the Polaris.
And then on the upper deck, that's where you have the fire control. That full section there is really kind of dedicated
That's
to
so
blowing
cool,
things
look
up.
at that.
I think it's very atmospheric in there. It feels like you're really in the heart of this big war machine. Slightly further ahead of that, you've then got the turret access, and that gives you access to one of the manned turrets. If you're in the cargo area, you turn towards the rear of the ship. On the lower deck, we've got the engineering area. That's where you've got all your core important ship items that allow the ship to function. On the middle floor of the rear of the ship is where our habitation area is. It's got a shared bunk area, typical of what you would expect on a military ship. And then off of this area, we've got a small bathroom, and then we've also got some storage for your weapons and also your armors. So at the top of the ship, we've got the captain's quarters.
Yeah, look at that.
Right in the heart of operations, so they can go straight out of the captain's quarters and straight into the bridge.
And a new entrance exit airlock behind the bridge, protected by 3 doors for security, for quicker EVA access.
Oh, I didn't even find that
expect to
last
happen
night. There we
on
go.
this thing?
It's like I didn't find.
What do I expect to happen on this thing?
That you have increased security on the bridge.
They added a door behind the bridge because they got bored of getting out of the ship and taking forever. But then I pointed out you just put a weak spot right behind the bridge. So they put 3 doors. So you have to breach 3 doors to get through. So it's not easy to get in, but easy to get out.
And then at the front, obviously, we've got the main flight deck.
The bridge has 3 seats, 1 gunner, 1 co-pilot, and the pilot one. It has a really nice view when you get on the pilot seat, and it slides up and forward, and you can see this giant turret in front of the ship. That's really cool.
Yeah,
It's
I
very
do like the view
reminiscent
from
to
up
old
there.
battleships. You've got views.
It doesn't have that like capital ship. I know it's not a capital ship, but it doesn't have that vibe like when you're on an Idris or even a Polaris of having that big sprawling bridge where you walk on and you see loads of people doing their jobs and the turret seats up there. It does miss that. It feels like the bridge of like a standard medium-sized ship, like a Constellation or whatever, just sort of crammed into that's that top section. It doesn't feel like a really cool bridge. I do feel like the bridge kind of sucks. For a ship like this, where it's supposed to be similar to like a naval ship, they've even said at the beginning they've set the bridge back and up like you would find on a naval, but on a boat, on like a cruiser or whatever. The bridge needed more, I think. I just think it needed more going backwards. It doesn't necessarily need more seats to make it like, or even like a captain's chair, because I know it's not a capital ship, but it would have been good to have two more stations, maybe a little engineering terminal station, a navigation, like a mapping system, something like that. Just needed a bit more of a something in that bridge, because it does feel a bit too... Yes, it's like a Constellation. It's like a Zeus or a Constellation, just like crammed into like a bigger shape. It's not it. The bridge is not it. I love the rest of the ship, though. I have to say the bridge is like you can see from here when you walk in. That is it. You walk through the door.
We've got the main flight deck.
You've got this really shallow little room. The middle seat's the pilot seat, which is different. Usually it's like the left one, right? Which I don't mind that, and it goes up into the front, which is fine. Then you've got those two sides. It's not a nice bridge. I'll say that. For all the other RSI ships that we've had, and like the Idris, which is obviously not RSI, but that bridge, I know they're different sizes, but this needed more. I hope the Odyssey bridge is much nicer.
The bridge has 3 seats, 1 gunner, 1 co-pilot, and the pilot one.
It just feels like a Constellation. It is
It
smaller
has
than a Constellation
really nice
bridge,
view
actually.
when you get on the pilot seat, and it
Just really
slides
squat.
up and forward, and you can see this giant turret in front of the ship. That's really cool.
But the
It's
view's
very
cool.
reminiscent to old battleships. You've got views
not.
all around the front half of the ship.
It
so
is
it's a really
not
nice place to be.
reminiscent of old battleships. On the
I think the ship's
outside, it
great.
is.
I think the
On
North
inside,
American
it
team
is.
did a fantastic job of looking at what we delivered with the Polaris and taking on board some of the feedback. I know there was a lot of feedback around navigation and signage, and set a really nice standard of we've listened, and this is kind of the new and improved.
Yeah, it's beautiful inside. It's really well done.
I think it's going to be a combat-defining ship. We're going to see a big change in the way that people fight each other. It's a ship designed to actually put pressure on some of the larger ships if you crew them. I'm super excited to see how the Perseus and Hammerhead work together next year in the upcoming tactical strike groups. The ship's almost designed to work in tandem with each other.
Across the board, very happy with it.
It's been quite a long-awaited concept to in-game, and I think we've massively improved upon what was originally promised, and just the styling of it is just cool.
Off the back of what John Crew just said there, I will say definitely improved off the package, like the offering that the Perseus gives to the player. That's definitely improved. I would say like the style. If we look up, and I'll pull it up on screen, if we look at like the original concept, someone did a side-by-side, and I kind of feel like they ruined the silhouette. I know they said they tried to cram on the turrets to make sure it had the output, and it's definitely better that way around. Like, I would rather have a functional ship that does more than just a cool-looking ship that does less. So I don't disagree with the choices, but the silhouette and the outside looks of the ship definitely a downgrade than the concept, but on the inside and what you get, huge upgrade. So really good ship. I actually do own mine. I bought mine on the pledge store ages ago, so it's a ship that I own and I will be keeping. A lot of the time these ships come out, the Apollo is a great example. I owned that ship. It came out, it was absolutely rubbish. They kind of the whole not being able to get like an ambulance in the back or even a gurney, and you have to just tractor beam people through the door, and didn't really feel right. It just became a mobile respawning point, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted to run medical missions, and then on top of that, medical beacons barely ever working, or people just not doing them at the moment because of tier 0, and no NPC medical missions, which I think was a huge blunder to release the Apollo without those. I think it was just a bad launch. Maybe down the line in a year or two when they make NPC medical missions, and hopefully if they're doing that, and medical gameplay has a bit of love where it actually has a purpose and we're out of tier 0 so people don't want to respawn, then sure, I can see the Apollo being something I might pick up again. But for now, I have melted that thing. But I will not be melting this. This is one they've released and I really, really like it. I hope the same can be said for the Railing, because that is one of my last concept ships. Oh no, I've got a Zeus MR, and although the Zeus is done, right, so that's fine. It should be fine. And an Odyssey. I'm so scared for the Odyssey. It's my absolute love and pride and joy, that ship. I really want it to be good. I'm concerned that it will come out and be a load of rubbish, but I hope not. I really hope not. Anyway, that's the end of the video. What do you think of the Perseus? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Subscribe to my main channel as well, GFA Plays. There's a giveaway running right now over there, so make sure to head over to that channel, watch the latest video or my live stream to find out about the giveaway. And that is it. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.